All right, everyone. We are here. Welcome to the Season 72 SMJHL Entry Draft. I am Jert, your events department head, and I'm going to introduce our magnificent hosts for the draft stream tonight. We have with us two SHL GMs, so prospects, SMJHL prospects in the chat. It's already time to get noticed by those SHL GMs. We have Ace from the Winnipeg Aurora and HFFO from somewhere.
The Edmonton Blizzard, yep.
Hey guys, welcome to the draft. Really looking forward to welcoming this new generation of SHL talent to their developmental teams in the SMJHL. This is Ace, GM of the Aurora, and happy caster of the J Draft for the Season 72 season.
The S72 Discord, so the last draft class, they asked me how I thought about them compared to, like, this class compared to them. And I said they're uglier, but they'll definitely earn more TP.
Now, just for clarification, HFFO, are you talking about this new draft class being
uglier?
Yeah,
the new draft class they're definitely uglier, but they'll earn more TP.
Okay, all right. Apparently I'm quiet. We're both quiet.
That's it's probably not an us problem. It's probably a reception problem from the receiver. You know, is it Pyro?
The chat is saying that we're quiet.
Yeah, it might be like we're just like our volume. Pyro's got our volume down.
Oh yeah. Okay. How's that, everybody? Does that sound better on my end? Anyway, let's get the show on the road, eh? Let's go.
Yeah. So we're walking in. The first overall pick is belonging to Colorado. I believe this was via a trade with St. Louis that ended up they won in the lottery, and they got it by eliminating St. Louis in the playoffs, if I recall, which is a hilarious turn of events, objectively. But maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I feel like I'm right though.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
This is what happened.
Break it, yeah. So they essentially they traded the first overall to Colorado to go all in, not to go all in, but like to strengthen their roster this season. Lost Colorado in the playoffs, and that pick won the lottery, and now they have it from St. Louis. So you gotta respect the management there to just not only say we're tanking, but we're gonna win while we're tanking.
When you win while tanking, that is a good use of your time, I believe, and resources. As long as you're getting other people's picks to make up for the lack of success on the failure, if you will.
But are we going to start announcing picks, or do you want to wait for them a bit more?
Yeah, I think we're good to go. The first selection of the draft is in here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to HFFO to make the announcement.
Yeah, with the first overall pick, the Colorado Raptors are selecting Xavier Handsome's son, I believe his name is, Beausoleil. The user Talk 806. He's a French-Canadian individual, surprising no one with a French-Canadian name. But he's been very excited. I know a lot of GMs wanted to get their hands on him. Him going first isn't that surprising, but should be a great ad for the Colorado Raptors.
And my understanding is that this user is a first gen, yeah?
Yeah, they're a first gen. They came over from Hockey Nation.
Okay.
Some notes about them. They've been wearing the number 3 forever. They were known as the Big Tree number 3. They had some time as a UDFA in Carolina, but now they're ending up in Colorado. They're 6 foot, 236 pounds, so they're bringing some definite heft to them.
So you're suggesting that this individual that goes by the Big Tree is not a main timber. Interesting. Fascinating.
Yeah, it's a bold move on their part, I think.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the draft board here. Congratulations to Xavier. first overall in the J is a wonderful accomplishment. And I'm sure you must have really sold yourself to those Raptors GMs. But yeah, let's move on to the second pick of the draft.
Yeah, the team with the second pick is the Great Falls Grizzlies. Ace, I think you got this name right. You're Finnish, I believe.
No, I am far more Swedish than I am Finnish, unfortunately. I'm going to have to
Similar
defer
languages.
to you. Very, very different languages, actually.
All right, at the second overall, the user Pulo Liva Miste, I butchered that, but that's okay. Yanni Monti is heading over to the Great Falls Grizzlies at second overall. They're a center, recreate, been around for a while. I know the Grizzlies were looking for centers to bolster their forward core. So they got to be excited and really like the user. They're getting a pick too.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're going with a centerman here. Generally speaking, as I said in the SHL draft, the position of defense is usually coveted pretty highly here, especially early in a draft. And it seems like we're looking at forward so far at the start. But when GMs identify their person, especially when they have a high pick, they get the pick of the litter, and obviously they're valuing these users very highly. So congratulations, Yanni Monti. Great Falls is a great team. I've played for them before. A good system. You'll really enjoy it there.
Yeah, it's a great pick. He's been active in the rookie Discord. Seems like a good, friendly guy. And yeah, the J draft is a lot more about locker room fit than it is like long-term earning. So, there must be a good connection there, and he'll be part of building a great locker room in Great Falls.
I've never had the pleasure of having Puo, and once again, apologies if I'm butchering your username. I see you on the forum all the time, but I've never really interacted with you too much, other than when you were a GM in Texas. But I've had him. I've had his player in fantasy before. He's been able to create a really high end player at the SHL level. He knows what to do to be successful. So obviously, Great Falls is identifying this player as a foundational piece for their franchise for the next 3 or 4 seasons.
Absolutely. And then we have the Kelowna Knights on the clock next. And if I know anything about Artie, I know that there's no way in hell Artie's taking a recreate. Not in hell, but it's very rare to see Artie not go first gen with his first round pick.
Which is funny because Artie's an old soul in this league too. You figure he'd know basically every recreate under the sun. I think he's been around almost as long as I have, if not longer.
I think the problem is that he's been around long enough to hate us all, which is fair.
Yeah, I hate everyone at this point too. So
yeah. But yeah, that will leave the pick of the clock, and it will be our first defenseman taken. The Kelowna Knights are selecting the player Jonas Salat, the user Sikro. I believe they're one of our multi-simulation league users, they're in the ISFL or PBU, I believe. I've heard a lot of people say great things about them. They come regarded. And first defenseman at pick 3 is, it's a great spot to be in, great recognition, and Artie must have had a great chat with them, and I think they're going to do great on. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but was Eric Chisling not a Kelowna Knight?
He sure was. Yeah, he was captain for the Kelowna Knights back in season 3, season 4. Yeah.
I also was a Kelowna Knight in season 5.
I always like to try to provide some insight into what these Jays teams are like, but then I realized that it's been
infinity years,
a decade since I was affiliated with some of these teams. So
we're old. But yeah, heading to Kelowna, there's some great history there. Artie's a great guy, and should be a good pick. Like I said, I heard great things about this user, and I'm excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, congrats on being the first defenseman to go, Jonas Salat. Sikro, welcome to the SHL, and Kelowna's identified you as a foundational person for their future. So congrats on that honor, and you got a great career ahead of you.
But this class in particular, there's been some really excellent like new gens that have come over. Just seeing them come over and be excited about the league. It's what keeps the league going is the new people, right? Like we can keep recreating our players, but eventually people will die off. So you got to have new people coming in and enjoying the league, and finding this nerdy sport hobby fun. And it's always great to add new people.
And it's also super important to get new ideas and perspectives in here. The SHL is a community here. Nobody runs it per se or owns it. If anybody has an idea to come in here and make it a better place for everyone around them, a more enjoyable community, that's what the new blood does. And, we're really glad to have everybody joining us here. Welcome.
But our next pick on the clock will be Great Falls again with their second pick of the draft, 2 top 4 selections. And they'll be heading to the country of South Korea to make this pick. They'll be taking J.Ik Barron, Charlie Conway's player. So some notes about him is he is the son of noted Turd Ferguson Award winner Adam Barron. He was born in South Korea, but he plays for Canada internationally. Kind of projects as a two-way center at the next level. But you love to see a guy with some grit backgrounds, but focused on a two-way game, kind of like a Max Domi situation. But Charlie he's a former SFP player. I believe he might have played for some other teams. I remember in SFP when I first joined. He's in the locker room. He's a good guy. He's really friendly, and you can't go wrong with that pick. I think it's a very solid selection.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at Great Falls last year, right? It's no secret that they didn't have the greatest season. And with 2 picks in the top 4, they're obviously looking to reload on the fly here. The Grizzlies had a record of 20, 45, and 1 last year. They gave up significantly more shots than they had. So I can really see Barron being utilized in, as you had mentioned, HFFO, that two-way centerman kind of muffling style to try to mitigate some of that offense that their opposition was generating last year.
Yeah, teams definitely scored on them at will, but they pretty much just they need to quell that, get some offense of their own as well. So, having a two-way center will help with that for sure.
And here's a little fun fact for those of you at home. Previously, when the Winnipeg Aurora were known as the Winnipeg Jets, which was a thing before the Atlanta Thrashers and the NHL moved back to Winnipeg to become the Winnipeg Jets again, the GM and co-GM of the Winnipeg Jets, which was at that time Kez and Chevy, they were looking at rebranding options, and they came down to 2. And it was the Great Falls Grizzlies and the Winnipeg Aurora. And the locker room internally in Winnipeg elected to go with the Aurora at the time. That left Great Falls unused, and Chevy brought Great Falls to the SMJHL in the expansion in, I think, the following season. So there's a fun little story for the fans at home.
Speaking of the original Winnipeg Jets, do you know who the original GM of those Jets were?
Wasn't it Leafs? Am I wrong on that?
Yeah. Do you know who's also a member of this draft class?
Would it be maybe Leafs?
Wow. Who knew?
Weird. What a coincidence.
Yeah. A lot of Winnipeg stuff happened tonight, clearly.
I believe we have a pick ready. Is that correct?
Nope.
I'm incorrect. It's not the first time.
We are running into some issues with the first time streaming from Pyro, but he's doing great. There you go. It's back now.
That's okay. We'll get there.
And we just need to get working on the next pick to announce, but that should take a few seconds. Already, 4 picks? 5 picks? 4 picks in this draft?
Yeah, we're on
we
pick
can
5
take
now.
our time. GMs are probably going to have trade talks and such happening. And that
Wait, GMs do trade talks?
Crazy, right?
Only while they're driving, though.
That's better than trade talks while they're drinking. I'd know that one firsthand.
Then we find out how Flu really ended up in Winnipeg.
Remember, kids, never drink and trade picks. especially the picks you've already traded.
Who would ever trade picks multiple times and get fired for it?
I died so Luke could live. So it does look like the 5th overall selection is in. I'm going to hand it over to you, HFO.
Yeah, at 5th overall, we're actually getting some royalty selected tonight, as Prince Marius will be joining the Detroit Falcons, the user Carey. Long-time user, had a very strong player that was on Buffalo for a long period of time. I believe they took a bit of a break from the SHL, but they came back recently. And yeah, I've heard great things about them. They're loved in Detroit and the Buffalo by people in the Buffalo spectrum, and I think it's a great spot for them to go. They clearly love this user. It's a great pick. Oh, and sorry, Carey did want me to bring up that he made the QCC logo as well as the Detroit Falcons logo.
Interesting. Yeah, and those are two fine logos. Very nice design work by Carey. Carey's always been known as a really strong designer on the graphic side of things. So if you want a new signature after the draft, make sure you blow up his DMs. I'm sure he's totally going to appreciate that shout out. But on a serious note, Carey, as HFFO mentioned, he's really well regarded in the Buffalo locker room. Detroit, obviously, with their first pick of this draft, has identified Carey as somebody that will be able to fit into that community seamlessly and hopefully generate some offense there. Looks like he's a real high octane scoring winger, and I wouldn't be surprised in 3 or 4 seasons if we see the name Prince Marius on the top of the leaderboard in scoring in the J.
Yeah, absolutely. And that will bring, I think we're on to pick 6. I hate the names to the Anchorage Armada on the clock. So go Boats. Boats are on the clock.
Yeah, boat team bad. Yep.
And we're good to go. The Anchorage Armada are pleased to select from San Francisco. Not from San Francisco, but the player Jean-Francois Bocassa, Lord Birdman. Birdman is amazing. He's a longtime SFE user, was the captain there for a long time. Won a Ron Mexico trophy for league MVP. And this current player, this iteration is he's part of the Bocassa family, which were some dictators you can read about in an article if you click on his profile. But he's not trying to his player isn't trying to shy away from his family's atrocities. He's trying to reclaim the name for positive reasons and give a better light to the connotation that would be attached to the Bocassa name.
Wow, what a brave individual. Good on him. Jean-Francois looks like he's going to be your prototypical two-way defenseman. He's building himself out in a way that prioritizes protecting his netminder, so I'm sure the goaltender over there in Anchorage will certainly appreciate that. Yeah, nothing but great things to say about Birdman. I've had a lot of fantastic interactions with him throughout his time in the community. Very well deserved to be picked here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That will bring pick 7 on the clock. And that is the Colorado Raptors again with their second selection. This is their own pick this time. It would have been a lottery pick, but again, they won in round 1 over St. Louis. So they'll be in the clock at 7 now.
Clever girl. So we're just waiting on this pick to come in.
I'm gonna say Colorado might have been disappointed that Birdman wasn't available at this pick, being their previous GM.
I feel like every pick following Birdman would be a little disappointed Birdman wasn't there, though. Birdman's great.
I do think they made a great pick here. Really love that pick for Colorado, and we're ready to announce it.
I mean, so for every good thing I can say about this pick, the one thing that keeps coming up is that they love baked beans, and that's just an atrocity to me. So at pick 7, the Colorado Raptors are selecting Update Portal, the user Woomadoose. Woomadoose is the original Update Portal, and any preceding Update Portal is copyright infringement, and they will owe him money if they use the name or anything associated with it. This is a legal letter from his lawyers that he wanted me to deliver to the SHL. But Wooma's great. He's a funny guy, real friendly, talks a lot, but he likes beans. So I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not a big bean guy here myself. Yeah, another defenseman going to call in the draft here in the first round. Update Portal, another strong, looks like probably defensive defenseman. So really being prioritized to protect around the crease, a little less of concern in regards to transition and offensive play. You won't be seeing Update Portal walk the blue line anytime soon in an SMJHL game near you. But yeah, great recreated user, legacy username. Yeah, good luck in Colorado, Uma.
And this will bring us up to the Regina Elk on the clock at pick 8. The Elk used to be run by Jert many moons ago, maybe not that many moons ago. And since then, they've done a lot better now that they've gotten rid of him.
Insert GIF. It's been 84 years.
Yeah. Yeah, but they will be on the clock, selecting for the first time this draft at pick 8. They got a good color scheme. I'm not going to lie. I like the purple and gold.
Branding is very royal. Yeah, I have great things to say about Regina. I really enjoyed my time there with Lord Farquaad's. Even if Jert's no longer there, Reno and team does a great job with the Elk.
I'm still there.
You're dead to me.
Here right now.
You're dead to me. Yeah, so looks like they're going to go with Guy Incognito, which was the previously mentioned Leafs Forever, one of the owners on the site.
I'm pretty sure it's just Guy Incognito, like he's an incognito guy.
No, it's Guy. It's French.
I don't think it's French.
Oui.
Incognito.
Right, Incognito. So I do have some notes for Mr. Guy, but he is bar none the greatest prospect in SHL history, and every team who passed on him deserve all incoming misfortune that comes their way.
All right.
These are the notes. But yeah, he was the season 1 founder of the Winnipeg Jets. Been GMing since then. He's one of the site owners. He's been around since time immemorial and has been churning out like max earning players the entire time without break. Might do it a little quietly sometimes, but he's always been a nice guy, very reasonable and easy to talk to, and he's got the heart of a teacher because he's a teacher.
You could say that he's an incognito guy.
Well, I mean, everyone knows him, so he's not really incognito,
Mm.
See, if it was you, then it's like, who?
So we do have the 9th overall selection. It is
in.
There's a trade at 9 overall.
Yes.
Ooh.
It appears I'm stupid.
The Carolina Kraken are making a trade. Can we get any guesses to who in the chat? We're already showing it, aren't we? Yeah. All right. At pick 9, the Carolina Kraken are trading with the Kelowna Knights. They will be setting pick 9 in return for pick 18 this draft, as well as Kelowna's S74 first. So that's pick 18 and Kelowna's first next season for the 9th overall pick this draft. That means Kelowna is on the clock.
Yeah, so the Knights obviously saw somebody that they really wanted here, and they offered a first from next draft and the 18th overall selection. That's a bit of a steep price, but I mean, when you are moving up 9 spots here, that's the going market here. So good move by Carolina here to get some future draft capital and still move into a decent drafting spot. And the Knights, they're going for their guy.
Yeah,
it's
and
definitely a big hole, but I think, I mean, let's be honest, this is not the deepest draft we've had. So if you really need a player right now, you really want to make this class count in your Kelowna, you gotta pay the price for it.
And at pick 9, the Kelowna Knights are taking the user Brooklyn Fist, the user Captain Squall. Squall is fantastic. He is the daughter. She is the daughter of Richard Fist, who some might even colloquially call Dick Fist. He won the Turd Ferguson in season 41. So this is our second bloodline of Turd Ferguson users going in the draft. Squall is fantastic. Has an excellent mustache. He's also a farmer, so there's that. And he's been super friendly. Makes good food, and I think it's a really good pick for Kelowna here.
Yeah, going with that lefty position with this player. Looks like a little bit more of an offensive defenseman, though. Strengths for this player include getting open and puck handling. So that should be an interesting thing to see for the club over here, and looking forward to seeing how Fist develops for the Knights.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic. I'm a big fan of. I didn't know Squall before he joined the S73 Discord, but since I've got talking to him, I think he's absolutely fantastic. Big fan.
So next up, with their first pick of the draft, is the Vancouver Whalers with the 10th overall selection.
Yeah, Vancouver, I believe 2 seasons ago, I'm pretty sure like 80% of their roster was rookies, and they still did pretty well. They've built on that, moving forward, and have a incredibly strong roster currently with the growth of those rookies and the talent they had. Looking to add, another rookie to come in and join and continue that stream of success they've been riding.
Yeah, the Whalers, they finished pretty well. They finished 5th overall last year in the regular season. They had a respectable goal differential. So obviously they have a fantastic foundation right there, and they're looking to add that supplemental piece just to kind of top them off there for the future, and maybe provide some rookie scoring to get them over the hump this season.
Yeah, at pick 10, the Vancouver Whalers are pleased to select Graham Schwartz, the user Schwartzy. It's a first-gen user who's just, they've been excellent, blown a lot of GMs away, I've heard in scouting conversations, been friendly, nice to talk to. Probably likes memeing a little bit if he's going to be in Vancouver. Maybe has a little bit of Riz to fit in with Alex, but I think it's going to be a solid pick for them. They got to be excited to bring the user in.
Yeah, it's always great when you have a compelling conversation with a first generation player and you really are able to get somebody's perspective when they're first joining the league and what their experience has been like. So congratulations on your first SHL draft experience there, Schwartzy. Really hope you enjoy your club there in Vancouver.
And pick 11 will bring the Yukon Malamutes on the clock. This is hits a little home, as I'm currently on the roster for the Yukon Malamutes. So I'm hoping we make a good pick here. At pick 11, the pick is in. The Yukon Malamutes will be selecting Christian Sepinen, the user Mr. President. He's coming over from Hockey Nation as well. One of those creates. Absolutely has just been a prime candidate for what you wanted in like a first gen Simile user. He's been very active in the Discord, well regarded from other places. People generally always speak high of him. He did call me out a couple days ago. So you gotta respect him for speaking it how it is, because if you're not calling me out, you're probably lying at some point. But I'm a big fan of this pick. I think he's going to do great things, not only in the SMJHL but the SHL in the future, and excited to be teammates with him.
Yeah, Bad Wolf and Flu are fantastic people. I've had them both in Winnipeg for the last few seasons, and I am also a Malamute alum. So, yeah, they really know what they're doing. The Malamutes are on the precipice of greatness here. They finished third overall last year. So, yeah, they're on the right track. I love this pick.
And that will bring up the Nevada Battleborn on the clock at pick 12. Let's see what Jess and Co do. And the pick is in at pick 12. Recently announced Chicago co-GM Unspeakable Horror, the user Aeon's Jenny. Will be going pick 12 to Nevada. Definitely known from other leagues. They didn't just walk into the league as a first gen and pick up a co-GM job in the SHL on the fly. But heard great things. Very active user. Going to be earning, and they love them in Nevada. So it should be a great pick. And excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, I don't know too much about this user other than they're the co-GM of the syndicate now. Yeah, I mean,
I think they're in the ISFL. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. And they might like GM or co-GM or be on the team that I believe Schwarzenau runs the Colorado Yeti in the ISFL. So there's probably some relation there. But yeah, they're a firm believer in them, and I think she's going to do great things. And it's a fantastic name, like Unspeakable Horror. I think it's just a great player name to have.
Well,
big fan of it.
I may be biased, but there's no better judge of character that I know on the site than Jess. And if Jess has selected them, they're fine by me. All right, the next pick is up. Looks like Newfoundland's going to be up. I'm going to hand it over to you, HFFO.
Yeah. So this pick is sad, a bust, and ketchup all at the same time. Newfoundland is taking renowned locker room alumni, the user Sad Ketchup, Tyler, heading back to Newfoundland, the only place that can tolerate his memes. I mean, loves him the most. Ty's a funny guy. I love Ty. He's super weird. He's just sad all the time. Talks about his love of ketchup and mac and cheese. But he's had I think his last player at one point was the highest TP player in the league. I forget what season it was. I think it was like 66 or 67. He led the league in TP. People generally love Ty. He's a bit of a meme, but he's a great guy, and they love him in Newfoundland, so they're going to be very excited to bring him back.
Yeah, and he brought one of the most well-known emotes in the SHL community to us all. So thanks for your contribution to our community
talking
lore.
Typeg?
Oh, that's one of them. Yeah. But look at those offensive stats, though. Tyler's looking to put the biscuit in the basket, if you will.
He's
14 getting open.
Trying to put the puck where Grandma puts the peanut butter,
Yeah, something along those lines.
Top shelf.
I think that's it. Yeah. Next pick is in, and it's going to the 4-star champions, the Maine Timber.
Yeah, last pick of the first round. The Maine Timber are pleased to select. I think they're pleased, but the user Jeff Goldblum, Sewing with Nancy is his username. I know he really wanted out of Maine, so he's got to be happy about getting to end up there.
Life finds a way.
I've heard good things about him. I did own his last player for all of 30 seconds. When I traded for him, I thought, well, yeah, you don't own your players?
No.
I use mine as manual labor all the time, but that's besides the point.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was inactive because he was given to me, and then I traded him away. But I've heard great things about him. He's a good guy. He makes jokes about it with me all the time. We also had a heated discussion about if John Candy was better than I can't think of the guy's name now. Who's the guy with Adam Sandler, the fat comedian? What's his name?
Oh my God! Why can't I remember his friggin' name right now?
Right?
Jesus.
Chris Farley. We were talking to who's better,
There we
John
go.
Candy or
Thank
Chris
you.
Farley. And being Canadian, I had to stand up for my boy John Candy. But yeah, he's a great guy. Maine's a great team. They've got an excellent locker room, and they're going to love him there.
If I remember right, Chris Farley was originally going to be the voice of Shrek. Did you know that?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot different though.
The more you know.
Yeah. And that will take us into the second round now, as we're heading with the Quebec City Citadels on the clock. Trade made a couple hours before setting them from 2 to here. But yeah, Quebec is on the clock. And they will be pleased to select Ryland Murphy, the user Tony W19.
Oh, now we're getting into some of those modern names. Ryland.
Yeah, this is that is a modern name. It's not one you see every day. I love to see that.
This kid's gonna just bang out a Michigan behind the net and just sally on your goalie.
Yeah, and
No respect.
He'll probably do a bat flip as well. The times change, and boomers like Ace and I need to get used to the way the game's played. And
Ryland's gonna sit on the bench and just play bottle flip for about 5 minutes till his next shift happens.
He's going to show us the new era of the game coming in, and it's going to be a great pick for Quebec City. They're a great drafting team with an excellent locker room. So you gotta believe this is going to be a good pick.
Yeah. I haven't had the pleasure of being affiliated with the Quebec City Citadels for one reason or another, but I have to admit that they have a fantastic culture and that team camaraderie is second to none.
I'm also just a big fan of ramen.
I like the food, but the users are right.
Unbelievable. This will take us to pick 16 with the Detroit Falcons on the clock.
Yeah, so you're going to pronounce this one, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, never doubt it. At pick 16, the Detroit Falcons will be taking Mephistopheles Morgan Stiarna, the user Mayu. If I mispronounced it, that sucks to suck. Pick a less complicated name. But Mayu is he's another one, Buffalo user who was a longtime user there. Heard great things about him. They're talking in the rookie chat, very friendly, open discussions. Having a recreate, they bring in two recreates this draft. Detroit did, both excellently regarded individuals, and building on that last draft class they had, and getting that locker room going, and building back towards contention they had the 8-10 seasons prior, where they were a dominant force in the SMJHL. This is the second draft for the new GMs of first draft. No, this is the first draft for the new GMs Afino and Trash, I believe, who were just taken by Detroit last draft and are making their first selections.
Yeah, Detroit's very much in a rebuild, just like Great Falls is. Great Detroit finished 2 points ahead of the Grizzlies last year. So yeah, they're looking for somebody that can step in here and really help them out with getting the ship steered in the right direction.
And this will bring pick 17 on the clock. It will be the Regina Elk.
It looks like we have a trade.
Oh, this trade comes after.
We don't.
No?
No.
The Regina Elk at pick 17 are pleased to select Bobby Kachuk. I do have some interesting notes on the user Bobby Kachuk. Give me 1 second. Bobby Kachuk is the love child of Brady Kachuk and Tim Stutzla, and was named while drunk. Brady accidentally put a Y on the end of Kachuk accidentally. So
Okay, now you can see your line.
but now there is a trade to announce. This user is immediately traded to the Yukon Malamutes in exchange for their first round pick next season, as well as pick 55 this draft. My understanding is the Malamutes were working a trade to try to make sure that Kachuk could join them, and they are very excited to bring him in. It's another Senators user for Egg, who's been surrounded by Habs fans and a Norwegian chicken who doesn't know anything about hockey. So he's very excited to get a fellow Sens fan on the team.
Yeah, so looks like the Malamutes really had their eye, like you said, on Bobby Kachuk here. They ended up throwing a 73 first on the table here and the 55th overall selection from this draft, which is a 4th round pick in order to secure Fubagai.
Yeah, so the reason this trade, they would be a pick then trade, would be because Flu is also in this draft, and he would have to take himself with his earliest second. So if he acquired the pick, he would have to take it himself there. A little bit of shenanigans happening, but to be expected.
Good draft capital asset management. I love it.
Oh, I did forget to mention on Maine's pick, Jeff Goldblum is always dressed to the nines. You'll never catch him in some casual day wear. Oh, and Talk is French Canadian, so that's a bit of a downside on him.
Why? What's wrong with French Canadians?
As a Habs fan, everything. Jert's here, he'll tell you. Shawnee's here, he'll tell you. Yep. And that will bring the Carolina Kraken on the clock.
Will Seven keep the pick or will he trade it?
He will keep it. The Carolina Kraken are pleased to select the user with what some might call the worst music taste in the draft. Others might, be appreciative of. It's Betsy Nickelback, the user Kari.
I still maintain that Nickelback isn't as bad as Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers are fantastic, and you should go to hell.
They're terrible. Every one of their songs sound the same. And so did Nickelback, so I guess. So.
I can't believe you just said that. Anyways, the user Kari has been she's been really active in the rookie locker room. Has a picture of a goat, which if you know Tez also has a goat. Sorry, not a goat, a goose. So something about
those are two very different animals. HFFO.
You're a bit of both. So, but yeah, they've been excellent.
Did you just call me a goat and a silly goose?
Yeah, a little bit.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this pick. I think she's going to do great in Carolina. Seven and Frenchie have done excellent drafting, and I can't imagine. I can only imagine great things for this pick coming in.
Yeah, really good pick here. Looks like a well-balanced player. They'd probably use a little bit more on the defensive side if they're going to be a dominant centerman in the GA in the future. But plenty of time to work on that as you earn TBE. Welcome to the league, and the Kraken's a great place for you.
19.
These guys again?
Yeah, right? They're everywhere in this draft.
Wait. The Raptors didn't take Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum went to the trees, and the tree person went to the Raptors. Think about it.
My dude, their genes weren't even born when this movie came out.
What's scary is half the prospects probably weren't even alive. We're gonna get a lot younger people in the league, so.
Yikes. Anyways, looks like the pick is in. HFFO, I'll leave it to you, my friend.
Yeah, at pick 19, the Colorado Raptors are selecting UC Mutu. The user, this seems fishy. He's been in the SHL before, was a recreate who played on the San Francisco Pride. With that conjugate of individuals coming over from Hockey Nation, he joined them as well. Coming in just before the draft, came in yesterday, I believe. He's going to Colorado and should be a great fit. Active user, he's on Discord, and they should mold him into something great. I've seen great things about him.
Yeah, really well balanced build right off the bat. So they're looking to just step in there as a third line winger to not be a detriment to their club. So I expect good things. It looks like Fishy is trying to do whatever they can to help the Raptors be a successful club this year. And that is 3 fantastic selections by the Raptors already this year. And they were a team that was on their rise to begin with. So I'm interested to see their progress this year. And boat teams are up next.
Yeah, at pick 20, we have the Anchorage Boats on the clock. And the Anchorage Boats will be selecting the player Sim Wen, the user GPox. GPox is a longtime user, been in the league for ever. I think he's I think he was one of those S20 creates back in the day. And he really just wants to know, when is the Sim, Sim Wen's brother is in a draft. Jim Wen will be picked later. And I guess he's the uncle of Tim Wen, who also will be picked later as in the draft.
I think my brain just leaked out my ear, but
that implies you had one, which we all know is a lie.
That's fair. Looks like next up we have Regina again.
Yeah, pick 21. We do have the Regina Elk on the clock. Let me just make sure it's ready. Yeah, the Regina Elk are selecting Mac Turner, the user Cloud Robot. I'm pretty sure Cloud Robot is like an AI spaceship, if we're being honest, but 12's a dozen.
I think
Mac
it's
Turner,
a new AI startup company from Silicon Valley.
we should probably invest now before they get big.
Yeah, we probably should.
But Mac Turner is a physical player at heart, so maybe they're not there yet strength-wise or something, but they wanted me to know that in their heart of hearts, they're a physical player. I don't know if actually or not, but they've been great in the rookie Discord, though. Not too many posts, might be too busy or just not always on Discord, but the ones they have, I've enjoyed seeing and like seeing that user going drafted.
Yeah, if they're going to have that much physicality involved with their heart, they better have a good cardiologist. But
you probably got a guy at your age, right? You could recommend him.
I'm not quite there yet, but if he wants a proctologist, I can help him out.
Oh, perfect.
Just the 2-finger check. Just check your oil. Anyways, checking and hitting. So it's not just in his heart of hearts. That guy's ready to throw the body around.
Little truculence, always good to see. Might give some PTSD to the Leaf fans if you're the Tyler Biggs pick, but I think it's going to be I like seeing physical players in the SHL. Too often people don't like throwing, they go for the goal scoring or the offensive defenseman with the speed and the agility, but I like someone who can throw a good body check.
Yeah, somewhere in the world, Brian Burke let out an
Don Cherry has made a new podcast about this pick.
Oh yeah, good old Ontario boy.
Yeah. And this will bring the Raptors back on the clock. Another one? They're everywhere. Yeah, at pick 22, the Colorado Raptors are selecting Liam Rogers, Akari Virtual, heading over to the Raptors. Akari Virtual is, I believe they're an Australian user. I've heard they're fun to talk to. I haven't got the chance to talk with them myself, but I've heard great things from scouting conversations with people who have. Rogers with a D added looks a little funny to me, but if that's the way you like pretending it's spelled, you can go right ahead. And I think they're going to do great in Colorado. Colorado's getting a great conjugate of rookies coming in and going to have a good squad moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood when Mr. Rogers comes to town in Colorado. One of those really good offensive defensemen that knows how to walk the line in the offensive zone, wait for lanes to open, and get pucks on net. And you know what happens when you put pucks on net?
Some of them go in accidentally?
Yeah, so it doesn't matter how. As long as they go in, that's all. But they don't ask how, they ask how many. HFFO.
That's fair. I guess I would know that if we beat you guys in the playoffs.
No, well, all you have to do is make the finals against us and you'll be fine.
We're in the same division. I can't. Conference, I guess.
Yeah, try to go to the East.
All right, I'll petition a rezoning. But this will bring Kelowna up at pick 24.
It's nighttime.
And, so there's many things I don't like in a user in the SHL, like if you're a multi, if you're homophobic, if you're racist. But the thing I absolutely can't stand the most is when you're a Boston Bruins fan,
Why? What's wrong with Boston Bruins
just
fans?
walking in and pretending like that's okay. Like you can just flaunt being a Bruins fan about and not be ashamed of it. It's a little wild to me. And that brings up this pick who wanted me to let you know that you're a very smelly individual.
Okay.
At pick 20,
what pick are you at?
It's pick 24. No? Oh, wrong pick. Never mind.
No.
We're at pick 23.
Thank me.
Yeah, pick 23 is Carolina on the clock. Ignore everything about the Bruins fans. It's all true, but that comes later. But at 23, the user Benji Hunter 1, the player Benji Hunter will be heading to the Carolina Kraken. I've heard that, they're very fun to talk to, excellent people, heading over to Carolina with a great locker room. Benji Hunter, they just joined the Discord and created today, I believe. And they're heading at 23 to Carolina. I think it'll be an excellent fit. Good user. It looks like an offensive focused right wing, which you love to see. It's a great position to play. Big fan of this pick for Carolina.
Yeah. What can you say? I mean, Carolina knows how to do their due diligence and how to scout properly and make value out of everything that they do. So obviously they had a good conversation with Benji, and Benji's getting an opportunity to go to a first class organization in the J. Scouting wise, you look at this player, one of the most lethal wrist shots in the entire draft class. You don't want to leave Benji alone in the slot. He's going to put that puck right over the goalie's shoulder, right by the ear, and you're going to be down a goal.
Yeah, definitely. To be fair, if there are any defensemen listening, don't leave anyone alone in the slot unless you're playing my team. But yeah, probably good to avoid that in the first place, but especially Benji Hunter for sure. And this will bring actually Kelowna on the clock at pick 24.
Holy smokes, finally.
Yeah, at pick 24, the user Nike, longtime user, the player Holy Smokes heading to Kelowna. And he did want me to tell you, Ace, that you smell bad and he can smell you from here.
Yeah, that's fair. I've smelled him before at TD Garden, so it goes around.
Yeah, so I guess two smelly people talking about each other. But yeah, Nike's a longtime user. I think he's also just an S20 user because that draft class was enormous and still staying around somehow. He's a Bruins fan, which, big knock, but what can you do? And he's heading to, join the new creates and the recreates in Kelowna. Should be a great fit. Artie's a great guy. Love the Nike pick. Nike's a real good dude to talk to.
Yeah, I've had Nike on my team in the past. Like you've mentioned, Nike's been around a really long time, knows how to develop really high-end players. Great dude. Does stink a little bit, but that's okay. That's a good pick at this point. At this point in the draft, you're getting a user like him. That's a steal. Great work by the team there in Carolina.
Kelowna. Cool.
Kelowna, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know.
All right, and that will bring pick 25 on the clock. The Newfoundland Berserkers coming back to.
We have some stuff.
We have some stuff.
Not a trade.
It's not a trade. It's stuff. Stuff's all right.
The kind of stuff that doesn't appear on the sheet.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The player does not exist.
Oh, the player does not exist in the sheet.
Yep.
Yeah, that happens.
Well, congratulations to you, player that doesn't exist in the sheet.
And okay,
you're gonna be drafted here.
I'm gonna fix this. Just talk about whatever.
So HFFO, what's your thoughts on whatever?
Well, so I will have a little bit of rant here. Diablo 4 patch notes came out today for the new season.
Oh
And they nerfed everything. Like everything. Like just damage in general, just nerfed. Like period. For
It's like a
everything.
new game plus almost, just because screw you.
Yeah. They're like, I see people doing damage and they seem to be having fun. What if no?
True.
So that happened. And then like I guess my thoughts on whatever is I'm pretty ambivalent on whatever, if I'm being honest. Like it has its days, but it's not something I'd like, I wouldn't go out and pay tickets for whatever,
Yeah. In other news, do you play Ready or Not at all, HFFO? Have you ever played that?
I've never played Ready or Not because I'm always ready.
Yeah, you weren't ready in the Western Conference Final, that was for sure.
I was ready. I wasn't on the roster. Should have called myself up is what
they just released a little clip, a little trailer for their new update that's coming out, and you're going to be SWAT teams swatting a streamer's house. So that's pretty fun.
You know whose house I'd love to SWAT? I'd love to SWAT Danger's house. That guy sucks.
Who?
Danger. He's the user Sith Happens.
Oh, okay. I was like, why would you SWAT TDZ's house? Like, what does he do?
TDZ's great. TDZ's great. He's got goats and stuff or some kind of animals.
For legal purposes, the SMJHL would like to announce that we do not condone swatting.
What if it's like a fly swatter, though?
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that.
Even if it's an electric one?
Why not? I encourage electric ones.
Perfect.
So what else do you think about whatever?
Sometimes I honestly have to wonder if whatever thinks about me, because like maybe I'm thinking about whatever too much, but it doesn't think about me at all. And they're like, what are we doing at that point?
Yeah, that's fair. Every once in a while, I just kind of take a step back and I wonder, what would whatever do in this situation that I'm in right now?
Okay, we're good to go. Pyro, you can do the thing.
Excellent. So at pick 25.
Don't announce it yet, though. He has to do the thing.
Gotcha. But speaking of Newfoundland, they did bring in Sad Ketchup, the user Ty. So you have to imagine that they want someone who's a bit more toned down to balance the locker room between Sads and Ketchups. Get the tie pegs out and everything.
Yeah. So what is the anti-tie?
I think Leafs Forever is the anti-tie, if we're being honest. Like on a scale of tie to Leafs, like users generally fall in between there.
You have tie, and then you have Guy Incognito.
Yeah. So like the spectrum of users on the SHL kind of we all in a collective fit between that scale. So it's funny that they're in this draft, but 25, the user being selected is Saustonia, Andre von Studrick. This user, I think they created today. They're active, excited. This is their first create a player simulation league. They seem excited, ready to go. They do some sim league stuff on the side, probably some STHS leagues or other kind of hockey sim leagues potentially. But I'm hoping, they're going to come into that Newfoundland locker room that has churned out talent for 25 plus seasons, and it's going to propel them to a great spot in the SHL, and they're going to have some fun here.
Yeah, it looks like that they obviously were a recent create because we are consulting. I just called up Central Scouting, and Central Scouting has nothing on this user, no information about their attributes. So I wonder if this is another one of those fake draft picks that we've heard about from other leagues where scouting teams have tried to convince other teams in the league that it's a real player, but it's not, because my people haven't heard anything about this user. No details at all.
Might be a leap year issue. We gotta check into that.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
But yeah, I've heard great things about this user, and it doesn't even matter what their strengths are. They're going to be great because they're going to have some fun. And the Malamutes are on the clock again, the Yukon Malamutes, and I just have a feeling this pick is just not going to be a good one. I don't like maybe 26 is like twice 13, so it's unlucky, but I just got a bad feeling about it.
You shouldn't yuck the yum.
I'm pretty sure it's just yuck the yuck, if we're being honest. But yeah, at pick 26, the Yukon Malamutes are selecting their GM, Florian Soderberg Modilia. I don't know. The user Flu. Flu is a fantastic person. He's very chill. He's also corrupt, so if you have money, he will accept payment from you to do things. And he's an SHL HO. So just keep that in mind. But big fan of Flu. His kid actually had a naming issue where they spelled his, like the Service Canada people spelled his kid's name wrong, so now they make fun of him for it. But yeah, big fan of Flu. He's a great guy. He's going to be a gem. He's making a screening forward. He's going to plop his big ass in front of the net and hope he can get some rebounds and tip some pucks in.
I'm not even joking. This is one of my favorite people in the entire community. I've had Flu on my club back when I was the New England GM before, that happened. And luckily, I was able to convince him to come back and join me in Winnipeg. And I wish we could have gotten him a cup while he was with us. But anytime I'm GMing or anytime I'm involved in a team, it's a wonderful day if Flu's on my side. So.
And this will bring up pick 27 on the clock. It'll be Nevada. And the Nevada Battleborn, the Goats, will be selecting some vitamin C. The user Milk Jones. User Milk heading over to the Nevada Battleborn. I guess Nevada really needed some milk, Yeah,
it's important. Milk helps your bones get strong.
Is that true? I just heard this was the thing from Big Milk to get people to drink a bunch of milk, and it doesn't actually relate that much to bone density or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw enough posters in my middle school cafeteria to believe it.
If you've seen Community, I feel like this is when they had Subway the person, like the person who gave up the rights and just embodied Subway at Community in the show Community. I feel like this might be Milk. Like Big Milk is having a person just become milk to get you to drink milk. So everyone chill out for
first-hand account actually coming in right now live from one of our draft members here on the team. It has helped Pyro 182 increase their bone density. He drank enough milk as a child to never break a bone. Even when jumping off playground. It is actually scientifically proven.
Are we taking the word of a self-confessed pyromaniac?
Are you saying that you don't trust them?
I'm just saying, if someone likes lighting things on fire for fun,
They're a responsible pyro.
Okay, yeah. I guess that's a thing, but you can decide where you are on the milk debate, but I'm a fan of the user Milk. Had a brief conversation with them, but I'm excited to see where the pick goes. I think Nevada's going to get an excellent gem here. And this will bring up the main Timber at pick 28.
Once again, 4-star Cup champion Timber up here looking to make a selection. What do you think they need to add at this point? Where are they weak?
I mean, I hear their bench could use some work, but
okay.
I heard it was actually pretty strong.
I heard they did lose I think it's 3 players this year, like Peter Tingle, McGritty, and some bum Shawnee's player all left the team, so they got to replace those players.
I think it's actually 5 425 DP players.
Regardless, some bums left the team, and so they have to replace those bodies. And so, I'm a big fan of ToeGM. I think he's going to bring in a user who's great to replace him. Him and Southpaw have built a real strong contender year in and year out in Maine. And at pick 28, they will be selecting the player Jordan Thompson, the user AK41. Yeah, Jordan Thompson, like AK-41 has been writing a like absurdly massive article. I think he's like 30,000+ words, and he's going to get his 2x bonus. He's going to have the money. He's really dedicated. He's in the PBB. I believe he runs the Code of Conduct Committee in the Professional Baseball Experience. And yeah, he's heading down to 28 to Maine. They're getting a real steal of a user who's going to earn and be a force for that team in the next 4 seasons.
Yeah, it looks like another really well balanced forward here. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the Timber have picked the best pick available for him.
Yeah, and that will bring up pick 29, and that is the Great Falls Grizzlies on the clock.
Yeah, and where the Grizzlies are in their rebuild, once again, they're going to be looking for the best pick available that they can find right now. Looks like the pick is ready.
Yeah.
I'll hand it over to you, my friend.
With the pick at pick 29, the Great Falls Grizzlies are selecting Declan Van Riker, the user Lumbering Giant. Great username and player name. I'm a big fan of both. Joined today as well, pretty much at the same time as Benji Hunter. They joined it like within seconds of each other, before like anyone knew who their players was, because they didn't really connect. So we had to get them to the roll call. It was very confusing for a brief time, but yeah, Lumbering Giant. Who doesn't have a friend who's a Lumbering Giant, right? Great name. Heading to the Grizzlies should be an excellent pick, and excited to see where they go in the future.
Yeah, and the scouts have told me that Van Riker has some of the greatest vision out of any defenseman in this league, especially in this draft class. I mean, really is able to grab that biscuit behind his own goal line and scan the ice in front of him and see those lanes before they even open. I can really see a player like Declan Van Riker assisting Great Falls in their transition game and bringing that puck and keeping it in the offensive zone more than it's in the defensive zone. So really looking to see if Van Riker can shore up the defensive side of his game to force those turnovers in his defensive zone before he can turn the puck up ice.
Yeah, there has been a plague in the SHL known as beta eyes that's been going around, but this user does not suffer from it at all, for sure. And that will bring pick 30 on the clock, the Detroit Falcons.
Scree, I believe, is what they say.
Well, they aren't here. Jace didn't come. He said he was going to come and didn't come, so no Screes allowed. But at pick 30, the Detroit Falcons are selecting Kenny Omega, the user Raid the Arcade.
Now, what do you think you're able to accomplish when you raid an arcade?
You get a lot of
how many quarters? Yeah, like how many quarters do you think?
We got to think there's at least like 200 quarters of the machine, right?
Yeah, maybe. It depends on how recently they've been emptied.
Guess how big the arcade is too, right?
That's true, yeah. Yeah, so Kenny looks to be a really savvy puck moving player. I've heard some scouts say that he's got some of the best saucer passes in the draft class. He's really able to lift those passes over the sticks of defenders, over a prone defender that's trying to clog up the passing lane, and still land it right on the tape of his teammate on the other side of the ice. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing some of that creativity on display this year with the Falcons.
I do know for this user, like having a right fit in the locker room was important. Like they wanted to make sure they're going to a place where they want to spend time and be with. So Detroit's that spot. I hope, they're going to see some excellent growth and enjoying the league. And I'm excited to see how they do in Detroit. Kenny Omega heading to the Falcons.
Yeah, and Omega, make sure you just hit the gym enough so you don't have the wrong kind of growth like I did when I hit 25.
We're not talking about your foot warts. Anyway, pick 31 will bring the Yukon. Sorry, is this a trade?
Yeah, that's why I've been.
Nice.
That's why you've been what?
No one listens, Johnny. It's fine. At pick 31, the Quebec City Citadels, who were originally slated to pick, will be trading the selection to the Yukon Malamutes. In return, they will be receiving an S73 third-round selection and an S75 third-round selection. So that is 2 third-round selections, S73 and S75, for pick 31 this draft, leaving Yukon on the clock at pick 31. And at pick 31, the Yukon Malamutes will be selecting Jim Wen, the user Lepish, the first goalie of the draft taken.
Well, that would have helped me when I was 25, the Jim Wen. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of a junior team that has been more plagued with goalie issues than the Malamutes in recent seasons. It seems like anytime they get a goalie, they disappear. So they got to be stoked to get Leppy coming in, solidifying the goalie spot finally. And they love the user. He's a great guy. Comes highly regarded by Bad Wolf, so should be a great pick for him.
Bad Wolf's a good judge of character too. I'm rather fond of Bad Wolf. Former first overall selection by the Winnipeg Aurora.
And this will bring pick 32 on the clock, which is the Falcons again. This is a trade.
Yeah, but don't go yet.
Okay.
Never
mind.
What's your take on whatever?
Sometimes when I consider whatever, I take a centrist position because I don't want to upset people. Whatever's a pretty polarized topic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to talk about politics these days.
Yeah. You're like, whatever, and they're like, whatever. And then it gets escalated. Really
good to go, I think.
Okay. Originally slated to pick at 32, the Kelowna Knights are sending pick 32 to the Detroit Falcons in exchange for pick 37 and pick 40. So the Kelowna Knights are getting pick 37 and 40 in exchange for pick 32, heading to the Detroit Falcons. At pick 32, the Detroit Falcons will be waiting to announce who's getting picked.
Yeah, I got to say, I really like that pick. Or this trade here. Detroit obviously is seeing that they have value that they're looking to go up for, and they're recognizing that the quality of the draft is starting to, I don't want to say deteriorate, but the options are dwindling rather quickly. So instead of risking sitting here on their assets and hoping that the guy that they want falls to them, or the user, I shouldn't use the term guy, my apologies everyone. They have gone out and made sure that they're able to secure their player, and I can respect that as a GM.
Yeah, you gotta respect the GM who goes out and makes a move to get the player they want. I think that's something both you and I also tend to do, so we probably have a bit of a bias in that regard.
Yeah, Rashford and I are definitely known as big game hunters, as you can see with the Max Manning deal this year. But
it's kind of funny because neither of you are that big.
I'm pretty big.
You're probably taller than me, honestly.
Anyways, Gavin Harrison is the selection, a lefty man, really cerebral player. I've heard he wears T-blades on his skates like Dennis Seidenberg used to, so you could hear him as he skates around the ice.
I hear he's kind of like you, but worse,
Yeah, sure. You, but worse. Yeah, what a great username. Like, it's almost insulting, and then it's like, actually, it's a compliment. Like, it's self-degrading, and I really appreciate that.
It's self-deprecating, but to boost your ego, which is always nice. I feel like a lot of people who play simulation hockey could probably use an ego boost now and again.
That's the kind of person we need in this community. Somebody that puts themselves down in favor of the community. So,
like Sabres fan.
I mean, let's be honest, they're Sabres fans. What else are they going to do at this point? Congratulations, Gavin. I can really see you being a stalwart of the Detroit penalty kill. for seasons to come, and probably a highly coveted pick if you can stay active. Like I said at the beginning of the draft tonight, defensemen are always in demand at the SHL level. So keep grinding, my dude. Welcome to the community and welcome to the league.
Yeah, and this will bring at pick 33 the Raptors on the clock, unless this was a trade and I'm being bamboozled. No, okay, that's where the next pick. We're good. Yep. Yeah, so pick 33, the Colorado Raptors are on the clock. And they will be selecting Nick Smith, user Smitty Hextall, who wanted me to say that So Evil and Reedy or Not are both terribly, just terrible prospects and should be released and cut immediately. And they have a podcast that they do together. I don't know if it's good or not, but it exists.
Okay. So if they are friends and they do podcasts together, why would he say such mean things?
Maybe that like they roast him on. Maybe the podcast is about roasting him, and he's trying to like get a shot back. You know.
Okay.
But
right.
He's gonna prove him wrong. Going 33, he's gonna be earning well and having a great career in the Colorado Raptors. He's been active in the rookie Discord. Love seeing him post. He's a good guy. Very talkative. I think he's going to fit in well with what the Raptors have done this draft, and they're building a strong core out of this draft, I think, for sure.
Another player that's built in a very specific way, and I assume will be utilized in a specific way for the Colorado Raptors. So, really strong defensive player, not super well balanced, so don't expect him to get a lot of offensive zone starts. But in a pinch, you throw Nick Smith out there, chances are your team isn't going to be giving up too many chances.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to have the responsibility on both ends. But this will bring up the Anchorage Armada again. Pick 34. They will be selecting Ubba Lodbrok, the user wearing a bear. Historically, Ubba is a Viking. Set around the time of the show Vikings. Ubba would have been one of the... the show Vikings, as well as The Last Kingdom. He would have been a notable Viking of that era. He was related to Ragnar Lodbrok, who is the titular character in the show Vikings. And the user wearing a bear has been a recreate. He wears a bear, which is, that's a flex. He kind of goes hard. But they got to be excited to bring him in Anchorage. And I believe this is a reuniting of him back to Anchorage. I think his last player was there as well.
I believe so, yeah. And wearing a bear, that is a traditional thing that Viking berserkers would do, is wear a bear skin in lieu of armor. So, yeah, I like it.
And this will bring up the Regina Elk on the clock at pick 35. At pick 35, the Regina Elk are pleased to select Red Panda, the user Lamore7. I do have notes on this user. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
Red Panda, wait for it, is, wait for it, wait for it, Red Panda.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're suggesting that somebody out there taught a red panda how to skate and play hockey?
I'm not suggesting it. It's just a fact. Like, this is a red panda who plays. It's like the movie Air Bud, but cuter because it's a red panda.
Have you seen Turning Red?
I have not, but I heard it's actually based in Toronto.
It is based in Toronto, and it's actually a very cute film, and it made me like red pandas more. Anyways, this player. Go ahead, Jert or Johnny, whoever it was.
It was.
Wait, what?
It was Jert. Jert, what do you have to say, my friend?
I just wanted to say Lemorse was also on Regina on their previous player and is a French speaker, so I'm very glad to have them back with us.
Stocks all the way down is what I'm hearing.
Yep. Also that. I'm not sure where they are from actually, but they speak French, so probably French Canada because I don't think we have people in France.
Well, let's hope they
In
are actually French or some other French-speaking place, so we can get them their
like
draft stock back.
yeah, I'd love to have like a French-speaking Belgian or Swiss player.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about like a French-speaking Cajun person
French Polynesian.
from like Louisiana or something? That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be harder, but that would also be cool. Or
Regardless,
maybe there's a lot of French places in Africa. We should have French people from all around the world, not just us stupid French Canadians.
But I did hear that French Canada is the best Canada.
Well, yes.
True.
Also the best French, but other French.
Also, we have a trade.
No.
Also, we have a trade.
There's a trade to announce. The
fellow
Newfoundland
Frenchmen.
Berserkers are acquiring pick 36 from the Maine Timber in exchange for an S73 third and an S73 fourth round selection. That's S73 third and fourth round selections going to Maine from the Newfoundland Berserkers in exchange for pick 36 this draft. At pick 36, the Newfoundland Berserkers are reuniting some excellent friends together. Roman Roy, the user Justice, heading back to Newfoundland after his last player had a stint in Carolina, but he's definitely got some Berserker blood in him, and he's heading to join Ty, one of his good friends in Newfoundland. Justice he loves Batman. He knows a lot about movies. If you like movies. And he definitely loves a good meme or two. But yeah, heading back to
so Justice likes Batman?
Yeah.
Well, I can confirm that Batman likes Justice.
Was that your Batman impression?
Justice. Yeah, that's all I got, guys. That's what I've got.
Something. An attempt was made. But this will bring pick 37 on the clock. It'll be the Kelowna Knights.
Yeah. Jert.
Oh, it's doing the thing again?
It's the thing, yeah.
Just
player name.
Just type it out in the column, the J column, and then we will not put anything because there's just it's the players that were approved too late before the draft. They aren't picked up by the sheets, and there's no way we can manually do all that.
Okay, so congrats, David Super on being drafted.
Shawnee, just write it in there.
Oh, it works.
That'll kind of work. Wait, did the position work too?
Everything worked.
What the fuck? Okay, well, do that from now on then. That's not how I thought this would go. But,
we apologize for the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
Blame HFFO.
This is clearly a you issue. You're 12.
Objection, Your Honor. I am 11. That's a go for YouTube.
But yes, at pick 37, the Kelowna Knights will be taking David Supra, the user Martin LK. Yeah, they've joined. I think it was like 2 days ago now. They've been pretty active in the Discord. Excited to get started. Kelowna's another one of the teams that have had a lot of picks this draft and done well with them, bringing in some excellent new gens combined with some recreates to combine that locker room with they had the 10th overall pick in the past draft in Kaliev, as well as they have Spidey in that locker room. So got some great talent there, and should be a good pick moving forward.
Another one of those players scouts don't know much about. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here.
And this will bring up the 38th pick of the draft. The Vancouver Whalers are on the clock. And we are ready. Yep. The Vancouver Whalers are selecting Nick Larson. The user Zflem.
Yeah, Zflem is a looks like a playmaking winger so far in his development. Really knows how to distribute a puck around the ice. There is some strong potential of two-way play there too. Some of his coaches had some good things to say about the development course there, but yeah, Vancouver's going for a high reward player here with this pick. It'll be interesting to see how Nick Larson's development trajectory continues at the J level, and if he can develop into a bona fide SHL prospect.
Yeah, they did make it to the rookie Discord yesterday. Haven't said anything. It's been a day, so might be busy and whatever. But great username. Excited to see how they do in Vancouver. Great spot to play. And this will bring the Newfoundland Berserkers up at pick 39. And they will be bringing in another longtime alumni. Some might even call him the Pope. It's Coswe. The user Entropy Sanchez heading to the Newfoundland Berserkers. A legend in juniors. Never really panned out past juniors, but always good to talk to. I believe he's an Xbox gamer. Goes pretty hard at like Call of Duty and stuff. But they do love their Coswe in Newfoundland, and should be good to have them reunite there.
Yeah, and Newfoundland in general really knows what's going on. They fell just short in the 4-Star Cup finals against the Maine Timber this year. Spurbine is on the Aurora. He's a really sharp guy. He's in our war room, so they obviously know what's going on. I did want to make a quick mention that I did catch Patty say once that he really enjoyed the Cats movie. So I want all prospects going to Newfoundland just to be aware that Patty actually liked the Cats movie. So just keep that in mind.
And this will bring up pick 40. Pick 40? Pick 40. The Kelowna Knights are on the clock.
Hey, no yawning.
I'm old. I'm allowed to do what I want. At pick 40, the Kelowna Knights will be selecting Daniel Dirkberg, the user Crazy Lemire. Had a former player who ended up, not being able to find a roster spot because salary cap is a bit of a pain in the ass in the SHL these days. Ended up recreating, and they're heading back into a new player with Kelowna, and excited to see how it goes on this roster.
Yeah, best of luck, Crazy Lemire, this time around. I really hope that you're able to find a good place for Dirkberg, and best of luck.
Yeah, and that will bring the Colorado Raptors on the clock at pick 41. And the pick is in. The Colorado Raptors will be selecting Valeria Serapin, the user Will3. So Will, heading to the Colorado Raptors. This is another person who's created very recently. People might not have been getting any scouting, which is why they might have dropped, but they seem active and excited for the SHL, and I think it'll be a great spot. Colorado, again, they're building a great core of players here, and should be an excellent spot to go.
So the name Will3 implies that Will was gone, Will 1 was gone, and Will 2 was also gone. So this begs the question, was Will 3 responsible for this?
Which will cause the problem? That is the question.
Yeah. This may be something that needs to be addressed at the SHL draft in the future. Looks like we are looking at the next pick here. It's not officially in yet.
But we are looking at pick 42. It's the main timber on the clock.
I think we're ready.
Yeah, sure looks like we're ready. Yep, the timber's up at the... Yep, we have the pick. All right, HFFO, go ahead.
Number 99 for the main timber. It's Wayne Gretzky, the user Gretzel, heading to the main timber. Sometimes I feel like fans of the sport might take naming their kids a little too far. But if he's got the talent must have carried over enough that he's able to make an SMJHL career out of it. Excited to see where Wayne Gretzky's career in Maine is going to end up.
I actually heard that this person is not named after that person. It's just a strange coincidence.
What remote place would not know Wayne Gretzky? That's a weird coincidence.
Well, as you can tell by the spelling of the last name, it definitely looks like a Polish name. Poland isn't super into hockey, so it's actually pronounced Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's the regional pronunciations, I suppose.
Yeah. We don't want to bastardize it with, Anglo pronunciations. So please put some respect on that.
Yeah. Pick 43.
And the pick is in.
Pick 43 will be a pass, leading to 44 for the Detroit Falcons.
And player statistically doesn't exist, so I'll let you announce it, HFFO.
Sure. I mean, I was announcing anyway, but at pick 44, the player Mike Badcock will be heading to the Detroit Falcons, the user JonahCraft7. I feel like having the last name Badcock is it's pretty rough advertising. But they joined today as well. I don't know if they're watching the draft right now, but they were in the rookie Discord earlier. Seemed excited for it. I think Detroit's a great place to go. They've got a great conjugate of new GMs and players they've been drafting. It should be a good spot, especially if you like beans, which you shouldn't. But Quebec City will be on the clock at 45.
Looks like the pick is in.
At pick 45, the Quebec City Citadel select Derbman. Well, D3 RB man. The user Derbman. Are we allowed to have numbers in our name? Is this like a legal thing?
Is he perhaps a droid from the Star Wars universe? D3RB? I don't know.
What do you think? It's like an astromech, like a protocol droid? What kind of droid do you think it would be? It's probably a gonk droid for sure, right?
I was thinking one of those bartender service droids.
Oh yeah, it could be a bartender, protocol droid. I think it'd be better if it's a gonk droid though.
Gonk.
But Derbman heading to the Quebec City Citadels. We're nearing the end of the draft, so we're throwing some darts here, and hoping they land.
Yeah, so we're going to just go ahead and just share the names of the final players. We do not have any more draft cards available. So in the spirit of time and being respectful of everybody here, to wrap things up this evening, let's go ahead and hit the fast forward button here, HFFO.
Sure. 46 and 47 will pass. At pick 48, Anchorage is selecting E2 Vatera, the user Vatu.
Congrats, Vatu.
Pick 49, the Regina Elk are selecting Hank Falcon. Falcon not going to the Falcons, heading to the Elk.
Oh my goodness.
The blasphemy. It's been all over this draft.
Welcome. You're welcome.
And Regina will be selecting at 55, Tico Minier, another Hockey Nation expat heading in this draft, heading to the Regina Elk. 59, Justin Wood, being drafted by Just in Time. These are High Water Hockey heading to Quebec City.
I like that username a lot, High Water Hockey.
It's a good one. And the last pick of the draft, the Yukon Malamutes selecting Andre Bertram, the user Yanni Gord 37.
Fantastic. Well, first off, on behalf of all of my friends here on the SHL events team and those that put the effort into the draft this evening, that includes Shawnee, Jert, who leads the event team, my co-host HFFO, and then the man pulling the strings behind the scenes, Pyro182. We'd like to thank all of you for attending the stream of the draft this evening. We'd like to thank the SMJHL GMs for being rather prompt and quick in the draft tonight, and most of all, I'd like to congratulate all of the draftees that have landed on their J teams. Hope you guys have a wonderful experience. This community means a lot to me. I've been a part of it for 13 years now, and I really hope it means a lot to you too. So welcome to the league, and really happy to have you.
Let's play that hockey.
Let's do that hockey.